Si Ramon at si Marilyn.
First name.
First name basis kami. Ramon, Marilyn, okay kayo dyan?
Napaka-amboy mo, Andre, na first name mo yung parents mo.
Dad, ma, si Ses, si Sean, si Pauline. Ay, si Malamang. Sorry.
Sana at this point kilala na. Sana lang.
Oo nga, sorry. Oh, malapit na, 10 seconds, 8:33 na. But thank you. Tawan-tawa si Ses. Oh.
Ayoko na magsalita, hahaba eh. I feel guilty.
Ako rin, uminom na nga lang ang tubig.
Oo, uminom. Lovey.
Take it away.
Nakuta na.
Okay na, nakuta na. Thank you once again, ladies of The Big Story. Great show, as always. Sustainability every Thursdays on The Big Story on One News. Okay, on our show, we've got the aftermath of the Gilas Pilipinas loss to Australia, plus other updates from the quarterfinals of the FIBA Asia Cup.
And we meet the mascots for the upcoming FIVB Volleyball Men's World Championship happening right here in the Philippines.
Real mascots, huh?
Real.
You'll be amazed. Tune into the show. We got a packed one for you on a Thursday. I'm Andre Felix.
And I'm Cheska Calao.
And here's tonight's play-by-play.
Ramiro, the show by Mamoy leaves. Future moves, puts it on. On the left side. Oh, the pass! Stuck in another one! Bacunas rejecting Esteban for the
Gilas Pilipinas head coach Tim Cone stands by his team's overall effort following their quarterfinal exit from the FIBA Asia Cup. Gilas was blown out by Australia just last night, 84-60, ending the Philippines' run in the continental tourney. The Boomers hit back-breaking three-pointers in succession and layups that stymied the Philippines' comeback attempts. Coach Tim admits Australia was the superior team. He made no excuses for the loss and instead highlighted the good qualities of his players. The Philippine team did enter the match short-handed with CJ Perez and Calvin Oftana both dealing with injuries. But by making it to the quarters, Gilas already managed to surpass its 9th place finish from the last edition of the Asia Cup back in 2022.
Well, it wasn't the performance we were hoping for, that's for sure. I'm mixed emotions. I really like our team. I like the way we play. I really like our team. I like the way we play. I like the togetherness. They're all good guys, and they're easy to coach. But didn't like our performance tonight. I didn't think we stepped up as much as we wanted to. No doubt the Australian athleticism and length, even though you see it on video, when you get up there and start playing against it on the court, you realize that they're very superior. But like I said, this is a great team to be around, and I'm really proud and honored to be on this team and with these guys, but tonight was not a good performance for us.
There were a number of bright spots for Gilas in their game against Australia. Dwight Ramos held his own against the tall guards of the Boomers, finishing with 15 points and 7 rebounds. Kevin Kiambao had a team-high 17 markers, including 5 triples to go along with 4 boards. The two Cagers were stellar for Gilas in the entire tournament. Through 5 games, Ramos averaged almost 17 points, 6 rebounds, and almost 3 assists. As for Kiambao, he was posting 12 markers, 2 rebounds, and close to 2 dimes per contest. Here are St. Dwight and KQ reflecting on their memorable FIBA Asia Cup campaign.
I think we got off to a rough start, and then that kind of put us in a more difficult situation. But I'm glad we were able to play against Australia, because you lose like that, it's lots of stuff to learn, and it's my first time playing against Australia, so I really wanted to see how good they were, and they proved it. So it lights a fire, and I'm gonna go back home and start working, trying to compete. The overall experience, I think all 16 teams that made it to the tournament are all good teams, no matter what. Even if they got eliminated early, I still think they were all good, 16 good teams here. So we can't come in to the next Asia Cup thinking we got easy games or anything, because all teams are good here. For sure, I'm proud of the guys because we lost to Taipei, we lost to New Zealand. We could have just lost to Iraq if we just gave up and we would have went home. Would have been embarrassing. But we won that game, and then we had the tight game against Saudi. You know, we were down. We still fought back, and we made it here. So overall, I'm just proud of the guys, and I can't wait to see them again in November.
Maganda yung performance pero ayun nga, di namin nakuha yung panalo. So, ang magmamatter naman sa dulo is kung nanalo kayo or hindi. And yeah, I'm proud of this team. I'm proud to everyone na kasali dito. It's been a great FIBA Asia, and yeah, magpe-prepare kami for the World Cup qualifiers sa November. But I'm proud of this team, proud of the lahat ng kababayan na sumuporta despite na ayun nga, hindi natin nakuha yung panalo. Ever since na makulap ako sa Gilas, pangarap ko na talaga na makapaglaro, na lumaban para sa bayan. And ayun nga, tulad nga ng sinasabi namin is built on belief. Kailangan namin patunayan na kahit sino kaya namin, pero ayun nga, mas kailangan nyo ng matinding preparation and matinding commitment para makuha nyo yung ganung sitwasyon.
Australia will next face Iran in the semis. That's after the Middle Eastern powerhouse pulled off one of the biggest comebacks in FIBA Asia Cup history. The Iranians erased a 21-point deficit to knock out Chinese Taipei in the quarterfinals 78-75. Iran only got their first lead with 41 seconds left off a Mohammad Amini free throw. Then Amini scored inside again to stretch the lead to 3. Taipei then missed a potential game-tying triple at the buzzer. Amini put Iran on his back, scoring 30 big points, grabbing 11 rebounds and 3 assists. Sina Baheri was the only other guy in double digits with 21 markers. With this, Iran also surpassed its previous 5th-place finish in the 2022 Asia Cup. They will take on Australia next on August 16, Saturday, for a spot in the final.
Meantime, China and South Korea are battling it out in the FIBA Asia Cup quarterfinals. The new-look Chinese squad took control after a strong second quarter to distance themselves from the Koreans. China even built an 18-point lead early in the third quarter. Despite this, South Korea managed to keep in step, cutting the deficit to 10 points at the end of the third, 65-55. The fourth quarter is currently ongoing. Later at midnight, we have the last quarterfinal matchup as New Zealand battles Lebanon. The Tall Blacks top Group D with a clean 3-0 record, but standing in their way are the Lebanese, who are fresh off a huge upset victory in the playoffs against Japan. Coming up, Team Pilipinas adds to its haul in the World Games in China. Find out the latest medal winner when play-by-play returns right here on One.
And we're back. Thank you for joining us here on Play by Play only on One News. A second silver for the Philippines in the World Games in Chengdu, China. This one's from Cheska Centeno in women's 10-ball. Centeno actually came close to the gold with a 6-5 lead in the final over home bet Han Yu. But a late scratch proved costly for the Filipina Q artist as Han cleaned up the rack for that win, 76. Centeno follows up the second-place finish of Kyla Napoles in women's jiu-jitsu just a few days ago. Team Philippines currently now has 3 medals all in all, with Carlos Bailon winning bronze in Wushu Sanda. The World Games will run until August 17th.
Meantime, the Philippine women's national football team's title defense at the ASEAN MSIG Serenity Cup has come to a disappointing end. The Filipinas were held to a 1-1 draw against Myanmar, ending their hopes of making the semifinals. Nina Matelas scored her first international goal in the 71st minute to equalize. But the Filipinas needed at least a 2-goal win to advance. Coach Mark Torcaso's squad finished third in Group B with 4 points off of 1 win, 1 draw, and 1 loss. The Filipinas will miss the semis for the first time since 2018. Myanmar and Australia's under-23 team moved on to the Final Four, joining Group A leaders Thailand and host Vietnam.
Moving on to volleyball now, in just 3 more days, the PLDT high-speed hitters and the Cherry Tigo crossovers will battle it out for the crown in the PVL on tour.
That's right. It is the undefeated PLDT playing in its first ever PVL final, and Cherry Tigo making its comeback to the championship stage since their first title in 2021. Which team has the edge? Volleyball analysts Ayel Estranjero and Jamie La Victoria were on starting lineup for a preview of the upcoming gold medal match. Watch this.
Well, for PLDT, I think Coach Ral, during the post-game interview in the semifinals match, was able to encapsulate this conference. Kompleto sila this conference. That's something that we've even talked about off-air, that it could have been a game PLDT would won if they have all the complete pieces. Kiana Diaz healthy, not just healthy, but looking more confident compared to when she started playing. Kim Fajardo has been setting well. Jovi Prado, I feel like she's one underrated outside hitter, very efficient. She's able to play better right now. You have Majoy and Mika coming off injuries before also. So these are the starters of PLDT players. They've waited to be completed and to play together. And as you mentioned, add Savi Davison into the mix, then they have a very strong core lineup. And I think that's the biggest reason why they were able to sweep the preliminary round and the tournament so far.
But they've done this before. They've looked really good, and then they face, like, say, a team like Creamline. They don't get over the hump. They did this time, Ayel. How big is that for them going into the finals?
That's very big because that seems to be a ghost hunting them for quite some time. Sabi nga ni Kat Arada in that post-game interview also na parang they were able to get through that hump of the semi-finals curse. Kasi andun na lagi.
Akari was the last one, tama, no?
Pero they can't seem to get over that. So finally, it's also a mental relief for them na finally ito na, kaya natin. And we always emphasize how important the mentality is also during the game. So just like what Neil mentioned earlier, it could be a start of good things for PLD.
You know, just the consistency, because when you look at the players, when you look at the lineup in Cherry, it's a mix of veterans and young guns. You have Ara Galang, who's playing wonderfully. And I have to give credit to Amy Hernandez. This is her first time back in in a very long time since her ACL. She provides a lot of stability. When you look at the stats, she scores maybe 9 to 12 points in every game. And for a middle blocker to have that for every game, that's unheard of, because usually a middle blocker would tally 6 to 7. And also Cesc Robles. We all know what she did in the UAP, providing a lot of stability. And of course, Karen Verdeflor. The defense is there, the receive is there, and they're all in sync. And I consider Cherry to be a moody team. So when they're hot, they're hot. So hopefully on Sunday, they're hot. We don't know. We'll see.
Pero ang pinakamasaya talaga are the Lasal fans. To be honest, ang Lasal fans, ang pinakamasaya. Just imagine, Ara Galang, Abby Maraño against the Lasal players in KKD, Majoy Baron, Mika Reyes of PLDT.
Nabuhay ang F2. Nabuhay ang F2.
So what do you think about the premier matchup, Ara Galang versus KKD?
We just love it. I mean, of course, different. They're both opposites, of course, different styles of play. But I think with both of them, at the end of the day, knockout game, you're gonna give your best. Of course, the pressure is also on PLDT because they have a perfect record, and I don't really think they look at that necessarily. Oh, we have a perfect record. It also boils down to the last game. And one of the interviews, Kat Arado said they're way better at just managing their emotions now.
And even Savvy said that in post.
I think it was actually Savvy, and I think all that heartache created some strong bond.
They had to go through it.
They had to go through it and it changed them for the better, and that's what we are seeing in the game. Hopefully, that is also what they can show on Sunday.
The 2025 FIVB Men's Volleyball World Championship is just around the corner. Get to know the mascots for the upcoming tournament when play-by-play returns right here on One News. The Portland Trailblazers may have found a new owner. Tom Dundon, who also owns the Carolina Hurricanes in the NHL, has reportedly agreed to buy the Blazers from the estate of late businessman Paul G. Allen. Additional reports say the deal is worth a little more than $4 billion US. Multiple sources add Dundon's group is planning to keep the team in Portland and is eyeing to build a new arena. The Blazers announced in May that the franchise was on the market following Allen's will that stated the team must be sold at some point. Once the negotiations are final, the sale will need approval from the NBA Board of Governors. Portland also made headlines this offseason after reuniting with Blazers legend Dame Lillard and acquiring two-time champion Drew Holiday. Meantime, Signal TV and DDB Philippines strike gold at the prestigious annual International Business Awards. Signal and DDB won the Communications Campaign of the Year Sport category for their Fame Swap campaign. Launched on Independence Day last year, the campaign put the spotlight on the nation's sports heroes who proudly rep the Philippines in the Olympic Games Paris 2024. In the PBA, the Meralco Bolts and San Miguel Beermen wore shirts bearing the names of Pinoy Olympians during their warm-ups before playing in the Philippine Cup. The IBAs were created in 2002 to honor and generate public recognition for the achievements and positive contributions of organizations and working professionals worldwide.
All right, check. Now, time for me to go to the highlight reel all the way. Pang-training to sa marathon.
Have fun. Bye.
All right, let's start things off. Ito, by the way, Gilas and Australia game last night. Again, unfortunately, we were blown out by Australia. 84-60 was the final score. But let's go to the highlights. Unahin na natin ang Gilas. Siyempre, Gilas Pilipinas. Let's roll it right away. We get to Dwight Ramos. This is early in the first quarter. Inside to AJ Edu. Hesitated. Then drives. Then goes to Brownlee. Launches a three. Gets fouled. Bang, 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 bang. Possible free throw. 24-point play pala yun. Napaisip ako eh. But it's three. And gets the foul. Heads to the line, and look at the Filipinos in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, celebrating there. Brownlee finishing with 10 points on just 7 shots, along with 4 assists, a steal, and a block. How about some defense this time? Foxwell, using that screen, pick and roll, goes to Cooks. Cooks attacks Brownlee, and then gets blocked by Japet Aguilar from behind. But take a look at the score here. Australia way ahead by 21 already in the third quarter. But that was some good defense from behind. Japet Aguilar. Cooks thought he had an easy runner. No, says Japet. And just subtly making his presence felt there. That's his only block off the game. Japet finishing with 2 points, a rebound in just 8 minutes of action. Okay, this time let's go to the winning team. Let's go to the Boomers. And here's Hickey. Hickey will attack. Take a look at Hickey against Brownlee. And then, nope, but the putback plus the foul there. That was Xavier Cooks. Again, earlier he was blocked by Japet, but this time making it count. Hickey attacks, gets a double. Dwight good on the coverage there, but sabi ni Cooks, I got it, mate. And then gets fouled. The push there by Tamayo and one. Cooks, by the way, 10 points in this one, 7 rebounds for Australia. Quality minutes from Cooks in this game. More Boomers this time. Hickey has it again. He is a point guard. Bring it down. Look at the score here, 22-8. Getting the screen. And then the bounce pass and the slam there by Magnay, who had 10 points, 6 rebounds. Good pick and roll action there between Hickey and Magnay. By the way, Magnay had a rebound, also a steal and a block in this game. And it was a good game from Magnay all around there. Good pass from Hickey again. Magnay, 10.6 boards, a steal, a block. Pretty good game for the big. Okay, more William Hickey. Hickey's just making an imprint here in this game against Dwight. Hickey, woo! Attacking. I didn't know William Hickey had hops. Take a look at that. Move, bend his back, and then attacking the defense by Dwight for the rock attack. Solid guard here for Australia. By the way, Hickey finishing the game with 5 points, 5 rebounds, 4 steals, 4 assists rather, a steal and a block. He was just filling the stat sheet out all around for William Hickey. Australia, again, as I said, eliminating Gilas Pilipinas from the FIBA Asia Cup in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. 84-60 is the score here in the quarters. Boomers move on now to the semis. They face Iran. That will be a good one. Australia and Iran on Saturday. Gilas, meanwhile, improves on its 9th place finish back in the 2022 Asia Cup. Check. What am I before we go?
And before we go, meet the new faces of the 2025 F5VB Men's Volleyball World Championship. The official mascots were unveiled at the Mall of Asia Arena Music Hall Say hello to Kulog, meaning thunder, Kidlat, which stands for lightning, and Hataw, meaning strike or slam. With just a month to go before the world's best men's volleyball teams arrive in the Philippines, top sports executives, fans, and representatives from the embassies of all 31 participating nations came together for the celebration. The event featured fun games, match ticket giveaways, and exclusive merchandise from the teams. All of this to fire up fans ahead of the biggest volleyball showdown in the country's history.
Parang gusto ko si Hataw, pero cute lahat eh. Si Kulog, si Kidlat, at si Hataw. Sinong nagustuhan mo doon?
Hataw, kasi naisip ko si Gary V. Hataw na.
Lumalabas ang edad natin,
I
Cheska.
know!
Relax.
Okay na, inaamin ko naman eh. Sinabi ko ng
Kulog,
Backstreet
Kidlat
Boys
na
kahapon
lang.
eh.
Gary V. Hataw na, 90s yun. But that's nice, you know, seeing the mascots and, of course, the new faces of the 2025 FIVB Men's Volleyball World Championship. That will be a nice treat, you know, having the mascots there for the fans as well. That's all from us tonight. Catch us again tomorrow, though, Friday to end the work week. Of course, 8:30 p.m. for a play-by-play of the day's top sports stories.
Play-by-play is on One News, that's Signal TV Channel 8 on SD and Channel 250 on HD. We are also available on Signal Play and Pilipinas Live.
I'm Andre Felix.
And I'm Cheska Litoncalao. Thank you for watching. Happy Thursday. Good night.